Fandom Family Chats. We are back with the Vampire Diaries episode, and I am your host, Maureen. We're joined with Amanda.
Hello.
And Tiffany.
Hello.
And Jeanette.
Hey, guys.
And tonight we are talking all things The Vampire Diaries Season 2, and we aren't going to be able to help sprinkling in a little bit of Season 3. It's inevitable. They're all connected. They're all good. And there is a lot of crap that happened in Season 2 and 3. So I actually it was weird. I was telling the group this, but I didn't remember the first half of episodes in Season 2. I didn't even watching recaps. I could not remember them until we got halfway through, and I was like, oh, hey, this stuff looks familiar. So it's the second half of Season 2 I recognized. Season 3.
That's so strange.
I know. Season 3, I think, is my favorite.
I think it's mine too. Yeah, I do.
I like Season 3 just because I love the originals, and I love Klaus and Elijah and I love all the originals.
All of them.
So Season 3 is up there. Season 3, Season 4, and Season 5, I think, are actually my favorites.
Yeah, I like Enzo's season just because I like him. Whatever season that is, but you know.
I get weirded out when Elena leaves. Like, I still watch.
Is that after 6 or right before 6? Like, does she leave in the
6
end of
was
Season
her
5?
last,
Okay.
I think, right?
So it only went on for one extra season after she left?
2.
2.
Because it has 8 seasons, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, my favorite 2 episodes, actually, that I remembered while I was doing the recap, is the one where Rebecca is telling Elena all about the backstory of her family.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one where Elijah and Klaus are sitting down to dinner with Stefan and Damon talking about their backstory.
Yes.
And it's right after Damon confesses he kissed Elena to Stefan.
Yeah.
And Stefan's like, so wait, you guys like the same girl then, huh? You love the same girl then? Is that what it was? And then he just stares at Damon.
It's funny because they're like, we've been through this. We've done this before, you know?
Twice.
Yep. See, this is why I think you would love the originals, Maureen, because I think you'd really get into it.
Yeah.
Okay,
if you like their backstory so much, I think you would love it.
I actually knew you were going to say that word for word. I knew you were going to say that.
Well, that's because we have the same brain.
So Elijah's your favorite, right, Jeanette?
Yes, 110%. Yeah.
When he first appeared in Season 2, and he had that weird part down the middle with the bowl cut.
Gosh. Now,
all I could think is, Jeanette, what is the matter with you? And then he shows up in Season 3 with that sweet haircut, like, aha, there he is.
Bowl cut Elijah is not my favorite. Really, Vampire Diaries Elijah is not my favorite, but the originals Elijah is a whole different, amazing.
I'll fully agree, back you up on that.
They're all great in the originals. I mean, not to get off topic, but like, I don't like Cole until the originals. Like, but you know. Okay,
that was another thing. When in the episode where Bonnie and her mom in Season 3, Bonnie and her mom open the coffin and Esther is brought out.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the other 2 guys? Because I knew Rebecca, I knew Elijah, but I thought their other brother died in a werewolf attack.
No, he did. That was Hendrik. Is that his name?
Hendrik. That was another one.
So that was their youngest brother, but that's Cole and Finn. So like Finn is the oldest ish. We won't get into that till we get into the originals, but it's like Finn, right? Is Finn, because Finn's older than Elijah.
I think so. I think he's the oldest.
I
thought Finn was the oldest. Elijah was the oldest.
No, Finn is the oldest because it's Finn, Elijah, Klaus, Rebecca, Cole, Hendrik.
Okay.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah.
And
I'm not saying the other one in case the listeners hear, because Maureen has, and Tiffany, have you seen the originals? Okay, neither one of them.
We can't talk.
Which is why I'm not mentioning another person. The listeners are probably like, wait, that's wrong. No, we're just trying to be sneaky here.
I really want to know a reasoning right now, Tiffany.
I'm still watching the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, see?
Are you really?
Yes, I'm still in Season 5.
We're going to have to give Tiffany some time off from the group so that she can get caught up, because this is really important.
Yeah, let's go. Come on.
Maybe I can talk Danielle into giving you some time off too. This is because, I mean, you mod for her group. She's going to need you to catch up too. Right? Yeah.
I've only watched through Season 3.
You got to watch 2.
Well, I have 5 seasons apparently to finish. So
we're gonna need like weekly reports to make sure y'all are on track here.
Well, you got me on Friday Night Lights now, so now I can't like.
I know you can put that one on hold if you have to. I
I
think the
can't
Vampire
swing widely
Diaries,
between those two.
they're very different shows.
shows.
Although I am currently watching, I'm currently watching the originals, Teen Wolf, Love Island. So I mean, I'm all over the place. So.
Well, Love Island's a little different than the other two.
Yeah, very.
Okay, yeah, we were right too. Finn, Elijah, Klaus, Cole, Rebecca, Hendrick.
I
Right,
know
so
my
let's-
Michelson family.
Let's talk season 2 because a lot of big things happen in season 2.
Yes.
Who would like to start with that?
I
Who's got
think the
less notes
first.
than I do.
I mean, I have some. Like I said, I'm painting my nails here. But the first thing is, I know we saw at the end of season 1, Catherine shows up, but like we really see her like for the first time, like interacting with everybody. That's my first note.
Yeah.
My
And
very
then
first note says to risk another frown line encroaching on a very crowded forehead, and then haha. Damon does have the best lines in this show.
he really does.
What did he say that? Is that when he's telling him?
It's because
like
Stefan
beginning.
knew it was Catherine right away.
Oh, that's right.
She's like, at
and
least
he's
I
asked,
fooled one of you.
yeah, and he's like,
and
what
then-
happened? And he's like, well, I kissed her, or we kissed. Yeah. Oops. I love Elena's face in that scene too. She's like, what? And you thought it was me?
Just complete disbelief.
Oh, innocent Elena.
I know.
Okay, so when Tyler and Mason are having that first talk
Mhm.
in the first episode, but when Mason and Tyler had their first talk, I thought Tyler or Mason had confessed to Tyler what he was way before he did.
Mm-mm.
I thought
Oh.
because it was actually when Tyler or when Mason changed
Yeah.
that he
Yeah.
told Tyler what he was, and that confused me for a minute because I was always under the impression that when Mason came to town, it was to educate Tyler on what he was, who he was, because that's when his dad died, right? Is when Mason came to town.
Yeah, I think it was, but I think he was sort of feeling out the situation first just to kind of figure out what Tyler knew and what he didn't know. And well, I mean, his main thing coming to town was to get the
Yeah.
moonstone.
He was
Yeah.
just trying to get the moonstone. That was just
Yeah.
a good timing, I guess,
Right. Yeah,
for his brother to die.
I know.
Speaking of that, I do realize in season 3, or I love in season 3, when Mason comes back and Damon's like, let's just get on with it. And Mason's like, I'm not here for revenge, I'm here for redemption. And then he holds the candle up, he's like, I found something. And Damon's like, what? What'd you find? And Mason just disappears.
I know.
Poor Damon is always put in these really impossible situations. And I love it. So Mason comes to town, and Mason's kind of an a-hole.
I like Nate. I mean, I don't know.
It's deceptive though, because he's working with Catherine the whole time to screw everyone over.
No one can blame him for this because Catherine is
No.
the queen of like manipulating these
Manipulation.
men. I mean, he really was just, I think he thought he was in love with her. My goodness, like, I don't know.
I know Damon's like, she didn't even have to compel you.
She's good at that though.
She is. I mean, she's the one who made him turn,
Mm-hmm.
as we find out.
Yeah.
And then she tries to get, and she succeeds, Tyler turning.
Yeah.
Mhm.
she
It's all her
does.
fault.
Yeah, that was when
her
she went up to
fault.
Matt and she's like, and what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
I love that episode because of Caroline though.
Oh,
Caroline
yeah.
was awesome in that episode.
Mhm.
Yes.
When she came in and they're fighting, she's like, what is happening? What are you doing? And she had to separate them. She just gets them separate and this girl stabs Tyler. Like, I could just see her exasperation.
I know.
But then when she cries as Catherine's leading her into that room, and then Catherine goes in there and Caroline's like, guess I can trick you or something. I don't remember exactly what she said, but that's one of
Yeah.
my favorite scenes with Caroline.
She puts her in that room. Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
we can blame Catherine for so much. I mean,
Mhm.
she's the reason Caroline's a vampire too. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Game
Which-
on.
I mean, we agree. I mean, I like Caroline better as a vampire, so that was a good thing. But
Yes.
Mhm.
still,
I agree with that.
what about poor Caroline too? Because she had no idea what was going on. Like, I mean, she just had to figure this all out on her own. I felt so bad for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she really I felt like that was very different than how people change as the show goes on. Because she really I feel like in the later seasons that changing was a little bit different than like when Caroline changed, because she did it all by herself. Like she
Mhm.
was like testing the light out herself, and
I mean, she's a rock star.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just, I mean, she's, in my opinion, the best vampire because, I mean, not only that, but I feel like she was able to like get control of herself so much quicker than like
Mhm.
other people did.
Yeah.
And
Elena.
I know Stefan helped her and stuff, but I mean, she really like made it happen.
Yeah.
But Stefan didn't help her. Stefan didn't help her until after she had already made the turn,
Right.
and when he found her
Right.
going a little off the rails.
When he
Right.
found her eating Bonnie's love interest.
Oh, that's right.
Forgot about that.
Poor Bonnie's love interest. Just, I mean, getting together with Bonnie is just a death sentence for the most part.
Speaking
I
of
don't know.
that,
Speaking of Bonnie, I don't like Bonnie in the first couple seasons.
yeah, I
You
did
do or
too.
don't?
No.
You
I
don't?
don't either.
I didn't
actually.
the first season at all.
I honestly don't like her much until her and Damon become like really good friends.
Friends, yeah.
I mean, she's just so. I mean, she's right up there with Matt and like trying to do the right thing, and it just keeps messing with all my favorite characters, and I just
I
don't
know.
care for it.
I'm like, stop hurting my people.
Exactly.
Do the magic for them and go on with your life.
Don't help anybody else.
Just save my Salvatores and we're fine.
That scene
I'm
where
still-
Stefan saves Damon or saves Jeremy, and then he locks himself in the tomb with Caroline or Catherine.
Yeah.
And Damon's like, "Really? You got yourself stuck in there? Like, what is the matter with you?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll be fine. Just go
Yeah.
help. Bonnie has the moonstone. Go help Bonnie with the moonstone." Damon says something like, "So you get stuck in a coffin, and I have to go help a quasi witch with something." just the way he delivers, he's got just such disdain for Bonnie in that moment.
Yeah.
That's what's so funny about them being best friends because they hate each other at first. I mean, like legit, I think they dislike each other more than anybody dislikes each other in the group.
Yeah.
To be fair, Damon was kind of an a-hole at first.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you love him because he's hilarious in the first
pretty.
season,
A
but
little
he's a jerk.
bit. I mean, his looks just kind of like you don't really realize he's being a DICK, like
I
his
did.
words.
Well,
Like
see,
his-
I like that in a man, so it works out for me.
I liked Jeremy with Bonnie.
I did too, but then Bonnie again, she just keeps doing stuff that makes me angry in this point in time. Like if we look at
Yeah.
the season as the show as a whole, I love Bonnie, but
Yes.
at this point in time, she got on my nerves a lot.
I really don't like her until season 5.
until the prison world. I mean, this is really the first time I really start liking her
Yeah.
for me.
I don't know what season that is. 5, I think.
5.
I can't help you
Yeah.
out.
Oh, that's the best.
Tiffany, you're watching 5 right now. Is it the prison world?
Have you seen the?
No, I have not seen that yet. So it's at least
Oh.
season 5 or beyond.
Maybe it's towards the end of season 5.
Tiffany and I are such good help.
I know,
Right.
I'm useless.
Much. But what I liked about Caroline when she first turned is you see her drinking that bag of blood.
Mhm.
And as a new vampire, if you're drinking blood, if we would believe how the other vampires say it, it's impossible to stop. But she throws the bag away. I mean, she goes back to it, but still, she stops herself from consuming it all and then throws it away. And the only reason she attacks that nurse is because she's in the middle of drinking a bag of blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think that's. I mean, it just shows that. I mean, she was already on her way to being able to control everything, even without anyone's help.
Yeah.
She learned compulsion on her own.
She
Mhm.
did.
She
I mean,
controlled
she's like a
that
rock
nurse
star.
while stopping feeding on her.
Mhm.
I mean, let's just go ahead and say she's like the Bella of Vampire Diaries.
She is
So
good.
I was gonna say that.
I'm gonna not say that because I don't really like Bella all that much. I feel like.
well, I like Caroline more than I do Bella.
Yeah.
But
I feel
I
like
don't like the
Elena's
Bella
more
of the
Bella.
movies. I like the Bella of the books.
No, that's
Same.
true.
Yeah.
same.
Same.
Yes.
I could
and
go
I
on a
watch,
whole nother tangent about that, but I'm going to try not to do that.
yeah,
What,
we
Amanda?
can do an entire podcast on Twilight. But let's not go into that. We'll be here until wee hours of the morning.
Yeah.
I like
but
Damon's shock too when he first sees Caroline as a
Mhm.
vampire.
yes.
When he's all prepared to be Damon to her, and he's like,
Wait a minute. Yeah. Because she says something to him because he's supposed to be like, you're not supposed to remember that or something like that, right? She like kind of pulls something out to like make him know that. Wait a
Well,
minute.
that was in the school
Mhm.
Okay.
when she walks into the school
Yeah.
and he says, something. I can't remember what I just watched the episode. I can't remember what he says, but
I can't remember because I just watched the recaps and that part wasn't in there. So
Yeah, I just remember what
Trying to
Catherine
go off.
told her to say.
yeah.
Katharina.
What about when Caroline's mom finds out about her?
Oh,
Oh, Liz.
that's her name, Liz. I kept calling her
Yeah.
Sheriff Forbes because I couldn't remember her name.
Yeah, Liz. I hate that though, because I mean,
I
so
love
sad.
Liz. I didn't like Liz at the beginning.
Mhm.
You grow to love her,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but
She also has a lot to break, though, too. I mean, she's grown up knowing
Yeah.
vampires exist, knowing that they're evil, dead creatures of the night, and that her daughter is one. And she's like, I give her credit for fighting it.
Mhm.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
until when did she find out?
How did she break her? It was because she had Stefan and Damon, and Elena was like, we have to save them. And Caroline was like, I can't. My mom's gonna find out.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then she went down there and got a bunch of people
Yeah.
killed, and then bloody face went, hi, Mom.
I know.
Hey, mommy.
She knows now, Caroline. But how
Yeah.
did Liz break the compulsion? Was she never under compulsion because she took Vervain?
No, she did. She compelled her.
Yeah.
Because I remember that when they were sitting in the cell and she said you were sick.
Matt told her. Well, yeah, she compelled her, but then later when Matt found out, he told
okay.
That's what it was. Okay, yeah.
Mhm. And then he was on Vervain,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't Caroline think she made him forget
He
or
told-
something?
It was right after he found out, and he said, I don't want to know this stuff. Take it away.
Mhm.
Just so that she would think that he knew she wasn't going to be able to do it, and he wanted to believe because Liz convinced him to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scene where they're arm wrestling, Mason and Tyler,
Mhm.
and then Stefan arm wrestles him, and Damon's like, you didn't even put in any effort. And he says, actually, I did. So does
Mhm.
that mean that Mason as a werewolf was stronger than Stefan as a vampire?
Well, Stefan was only drinking animal blood at the time.
Yeah.
He wasn't
he
as
probably-
strong.
Oh, yeah.
And wasn't it real close to a full moon? And aren't they like stronger the closer we get to the full moon or something? Like I feel like there's
Yes.
something with that
What
too.
was that
There's
night
that.
he changed?
And I think Stefan could have kept it, going pretty equally,
Mhm.
but he didn't really want to give himself away. So,
Right.
Mhm.
but I think right then Mason was
I think Mason knew.
suspicious.
Well,
Yeah.
like what is it when? Well, now I want to call her Lindsay, whatever her name is. When she comes to town, like she says,
Rose?
"Can't you smell them out?" What's her name?
Rose.
Jules.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Jules. I wrote my notes Lindsay because I couldn't remember her name.
I did too.
I was
I
like,
couldn't
"It's Lindsay."
remember her name either.
I've got it in quotations, Lindsay.
Lindsay, yeah. No.
Yeah. But I think
Jules
she
is
said
also in One Tree Hill.
who?
Jules is from One Tree Hill too.
Oh yeah, there is a Jules in One Tree Hill. That gets confusing.
Not for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't watch, but
Mhm.
go on.
I like
That's
when Alaric tries to tell them it's wolves, and Damon's like, nah, that's too impossible. They don't exist. You're a vampire in a town with witches, man. Why
Yeah.
why is it hard to believe a werewolf exists?
That's just going too far now.
I know, and that's so funny.
Oh my gosh. And that what was it? Oh, we also need to, before we go way past it, mention John
Mm.
before we keep
Mhm.
going way past him, since Catherine decided to chop his fingers off and stab him.
Yeah,
Stefan threatened him,
made him leave. Yeah,
made him leave. He comes back, though.
that was a sweet scene though.
I know, I
Mhm.
love that one. And then when he comes out, she's like, "What did you do?"
But then he saves Elena in the end, or he helps save Elena.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he sacrifices himself.
Because I
So-
hated John throughout every scene he was in
Oh,
until
same.
that episode where he's like, "There's another way that she doesn't have to come back a vampire."
Yeah,
Yeah.
he redeemed himself. You know.
She should just become a vampire. I mean, come on. I totally agree with Catherine. What are you going to be, 60 years old in a diaper with Stefan by your side?
True.
I mean, come on. If you want to be with the guy, then
If you're gonna fall in love with a vampire, you're gonna have to be one too. I mean,
yeah,
it
I'm
is what it
sorry.
is.
That's the rules.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
I was about to say Bella didn't, but Bella did become a vampire.
Mhm. Yeah, she did. Mhm. She wanted
asked
to.
Yeah.
She wanted to, and Edward said no.
We won't get into this discussion because I'm a lone wolf on this one. So
I know. So
No,
are you
I'm
more
not
Tyler
Ignoring
than
that
Damon?
pun. Huh?
No, now see in the Vampire Diaries, I am in the originals. I am full. I don't know. See, sometimes I like vampire. I like them both, but yeah,
I think because season 1, I wasn't a big Tyler fan,
I do like Tyler though.
but season 2 and 3, I felt
Mhm.
so bad for him.
Yeah.
I love Tyler. I hate what they did to him in the end. So
Yes,
I think they ruined his character, and it really makes me angry. So
they did. Y'all don't know. They don't know
Yeah.
that yet. I'm not there yet,
it's
but
in the and it's in the originals that are really like he makes me so mad. So but
yes.
we won't go there. But
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that first scene when he goes up to Mason and it's after Mason told him how to change. And he went up to him and he said, you know, I don't ever want to feel that way again. I don't ever want to hope somebody dies. I don't ever want to be that person. And he's like teary-eyed. And he wanted to be good so bad. And I felt so
Yeah.
horrible for him. And then he handed his uncle that moonstone thinking it was going to help everybody. And then it just screwed everybody over. And I felt so bad. And then that other scene when he had no one left and Caroline was like, but you can't tell anybody. And he just looked at her. He's like,
Who will I tell?
I have nobody left to tell.
I know.
It just he broke my heart so many times in this season 2 and 3.
Yeah.
what do we think about Caroline and Tyler?
I actually liked them a lot,
I love
quite a
them.
bit.
I did too.
It's
So
my
did I.
favorite Caroline relationship.
Same.
Yeah.
And I
Even
even
more
drew
than
a similarity
Klaus?
between Tyler and Damon.
I don't know if I can
No.
say same.
No,
Okay.
not they're the same, but similarities.
Well, I
Because
mean, like
Damon looked
my
at Elena
favorite,
and go ahead.
my favorite Caroline relationship.
Yeah.
Jeanette
what I
knows
was
mine.
Well, that's what I thought you said same, and that's why I was like more than like
I know,
Klaus,
and then I was
what?
like, wait,
Yeah. I was
before
like,
I just
I thought you
start
loved
agreeing with everybody. My favorite Caroline relationship is with Klaus.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Not Stefan.
No, ugh, God, no.
I thought you guys said the last podcast you liked her with Stefan. Her with Stefan.
Okay, so this is where it's confusing. I think Caroline is Stefan's best match, but for me, Tyler is Caroline's best match.
Okay.
I know it's confusing.
As of now, I would agree with that, but I haven't seen her with Klaus yet. I've seen the starting of that.
You
You don't really
see-
even see it.
Oh,
It's like always this hint, like it could happen, and it.
They just keep flirting around that idea over and over.
They're
and-
like crazy shippers for like
Yeah.
Klaus and Caroline, like to the point that I found this out in our group the other day, which I know it's originals talk and you all don't know about it, but he has a love interest on there, Cammy, which is the person that I like him with the most. Supposedly that actress left the show because
really?
of Caroline Klaus shippers. Like they were sending her hate mail and being like ridiculous.
Wow.
And she asked to be written off because of how crazy they were being.
It's
Do
serious.
people realize they aren't real?
What?
I guess not.
What?
I know
I
I'm
know.
blowing your mind right now.
They
It's
are
insane.
real.
It's insane.
Well, what I found interesting about Tyler and Damon, the similarities there is that Damon
Mhm.
looks at Elena and he says, I'm not worthy of you.
Yeah.
Stefan is worthy of you. And then Tyler looks at Matt and he says,
Same thing.
yeah, I love her, but she loves you. She deserves to be with you. But I think he knows that Caroline has feelings for him. He just doesn't believe that he's good enough for her. And Matt's good. He's not a werewolf. He's nothing weird. He's just Matt.
Yeah.
And I think that Tyler is being self-sacrificing to tell Matt, hey, be with her.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why Matt is here.
He shouldn't be.
It really just it bothers me. And my
Bothers me
gosh,
too.
he is still in the show.
Blame Stefan. He should have let him die.
Now.
And went off the Wickery Bridge.
I mean, Caroline saved him from death too.
Why?
And then
Because
they give
he's
him
a nice guy.
You know how
Well,
many
they give him a
times Matt
damn
could have
ring.
died?
Well, they
What?
give him a ring. I mean, so he's never. I mean, at some point he's got that.
Totally forgot they did that.
Yeah, they gave him a ring. He got a Lark's ring, right?
Probably.
I think so.
Well, what's Alaric wearing? Nothing?
No, a Lark. I guess he got Jeremy's ring then. No, Jeremy still got one. He's got a ring somehow.
Probably
though,
John
doesn't he?
Gilbert's.
Oh no, Alarg doesn't need it anymore, right? Because he died once and came back.
If you're going by that,
You're
Alark
gonna
died
have
several
to-
times.
You're gonna have to Google this because he has
I
somebody's
know.
ring.
Well, I see Matt as like another Liz Forbes.
Ugh, Liz is so much better.
But I see that as, I mean, Liz is going to die eventually because she's
Yeah.
human. I just see
Yeah.
Matt as gearing up to be, you know, her.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that.
Oh, apparently this says this is from Vampire Diaries fandom. They say there's only one ring left currently owned by Matt, given to him by Damon to help turn Elena's humanity back on. Alaric's ring was melted and bonded with the white oak stake by Esther to make the stake indestructible. That's right. I remember all that.
Okay.
Okay.
remember
So
any
where's
of that.
Jeremy's ring?
Yeah, you're not there yet. Well, it still says that Matt still has one, so I guess he has Jeremy's ring.
Yeah, I guess he had to take it because didn't they had to kill Matt to get her to turn her humanity back on?
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if he still has it or if that's, I don't know. I'm gonna have to really dig deep here or
We
just
gotta know.
keep watching the show. I've seen it all a few times, but
I've only seen the
watched
last
all the
season
other
once
stuff.
because I didn't care for it. So
I've only seen season 7 and 8 one time.
yeah,
I've seen the originals twice through.
I'm on my third right now.
I'm probably going to as well.
Yeah.
I'll wait till Maureen and Tiffany get there. Then I'll
I
watch
can't wait that
the
long. I'll
originals
just
with
watch
them.
it a fourth time when they get there. So you can never have too much Elijah.
No. I'm watching Tyler and Caroline right now. They were so
Aw.
cute together. Really,
I love
they
them
were.
together.
And I like when he kissed her for the first time.
Mhm.
And her response was, everybody just needs to stop kissing me.
Because Matt had just kissed her, right? Like right before
Yeah,
that.
Right after she celebrated with him for not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
Poor
That came
girl's
up.
just so confused.
And then
know.
I love Tyler when he I think it was in season 3, I think, when he was like, listen, if you want me to stop dating people, you're going to have to give me a pretty clear-cut sign because I've been here before. And he's mid-sentence and she just grabs him by the face and kisses him.
Mm-hmm.
And I
I
was
love
not
that.
prepared for how fast their clothes came off. I was caught off guard by that.
They've got like super speed and stuff.
Oh,
so,
I
yeah.
know. And I love how protective he was of her too when he found out his mom
Yeah.
had captured her and he was like, what is wrong with you? And Tyler saved her more than once.
Yeah.
And
I
not,
think Tyler loved her. I mean, like, I mean,
he tells her
without
that
a doubt.
right before he
Yeah.
bites her.
Mhm.
But that was Klaus's problem. That was Klaus's fault.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't mean to do that. So,
Mm-hmm.
because he even told Klaus no, but it didn't
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
And then he asked her dad to come back and
Oh.
help him break the sire bond.
Mm-hmm.
We should talk about her dad. We got to talk about season 2 Bill versus season 3 Bill because they're
Oh,
different. But
Season 2 is the worst, Bill.
can you believe? I mean, it was just, I remember watching it the first time and I'm like, is this like conversion therapy? Like for vampires? Like, my goodness. Like,
I don't know. I did not like that man.
I didn't either. Like even in season 3 when he came back, I didn't care. I was so mad at him. I'm like,
Mhm.
how could, as a parent, like how could you do that to your child no matter what is going on? It amazed me.
I do love that after he left Liz got to shoot at him though.
Yeah. She's probably been waiting on that.
What every ex-wife really wants.
Exactly. But it made me so sad when Caroline was, even as a vampire, she was so vulnerable and she saw him and she was just like, Daddy, like you came to save me. And then
Yep.
he torments her in horrific ways for hours and hours. It just
Killed me.
oh,
It was awful.
I did not like him.
No.
And I said, yay, great. You're helping Tyler overcome a sire bond. But did you ever apologize to your kid? Did you ever make amends for it? No.
Right? No, I mean, I don't know if you could make amends for that.
No.
I mean, your
No.
parents, the person's supposed to protect you, and just the look on her face saying he was coming to save her, and then that, I mean, it was awful.
Mhm.
Break my heart.
And I mean, Liz obviously is not okay with the whole vampire thing.
Right.
And she still protected Caroline.
Yeah, that's her kid. What else? I mean, that's what
Exactly.
you're supposed to do.
And even when Klaus came back and after Tyler bit her and he's like, I can save her. And Caroline still, knowing she doesn't trust Klaus, but wanting desperately to save her kid, allowed him to
Yeah.
come in, save
Yeah.
her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Bill would have ever done that.
No.
Even when he came back to help with the Slayer bond, I don't think he would have done that. I think he would have been like, you know what? No, I think we're gonna let her die because that's what's good and better for her.
Probably.
He even says that when his options are, Alina's like, Mr. Forbes, if you don't feed, you're gonna die, and he's like, I know, I'm fully aware of what's going on, and she begs him to stay, and he says, listen, I believe that this is, and he does have sort of a point, but his belief shouldn't affect anybody else.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
he had a choice to not give into it, and that's fine. That's your choice or whatever, but no.
And it's not like it was Caroline's choice to be a vampire. She wasn't given a choice.
Right. She just chose to live. And I mean,
even that I don't think was really, I don't even think she understood what she was doing. She just started drinking blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I think a lot of people probably would. I mean, I know vampires aren't real, but I mean, I think given the choice of like dying or living, I don't think a lot of people would choose the living. So
I would choose living, but I would not choose vampire.
I mean, if it's the cards I'm dealt, I'll roll with it. You know,
I think I would rather die than be a vampire, if I'm being honest.
Not me.
Living forever just seems really, really terrible.
I mean, as long as it's like Vampire Diaries, vampire.
Yeah.
Not like
there's
Dracula.
Constantly a battle and a struggle, and every moment your life is on the line. You're going to die.
I mean, I don't need to associate myself with the Salvatores. I mean, all the time. I can go visit, I guess.
I want to associate with the Salvatores.
Well, not me. I'm heading to New Orleans if that's the case. So
I'll go with you.
I'll be a Michelson.
I knew you were going to say that. Is that where they're at now? Is the New Orleans?
New Orleans, yeah.
I'll
take any of them. Whoever wants to have me, I'll go with it.
Their story was really sad. I mean, first of all, is there any backstory on why? Because I've heard Esther talk about what she's done. I've heard Elijah and Klaus talk about what happened. I've heard Rebecca talk about what happened, but I haven't heard why Esther decided to turn them into vampires.
You get there.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you anything. You better watch the show.
We want you to watch it. But yes, you'll hear tons of their backstory. Like, I mean,
everything is explained.
Yeah. Because how cruel for their father, first of all, to make them drink the blood of a girl that both the brothers were in love with. First of all, that's really messed up and really mean, but also to not tell them what was happening to them.
Michael's awful. And Michael is awful prior to even turning them into vampires. So.
Yes. He was
more of that backstory
before that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's an abusive father. He's terrible. He's awful.
Yeah. We do not like Michael.
No.
When I guess Klaus isn't really his son, but still when he.
It's not, but I mean, he doesn't even find this out until like way later. So I mean, like, you raise this kid. So regardless of him being your biological child, he didn't ask for his mom to have an affair. I mean, like, this is the way he treats him. And he treats him like that even before he knows what he is.
Yeah.
Right before Klaus kills him or stabs him. I don't know if he's actually dead, but because everyone seems to come back on Vampire Diaries.
Well, he's dead, but that doesn't mean anything.
But right before Klaus stabs him, and the things his father is saying to him, or the things Michael is saying to him, are so, it's making Klaus cry. And it's so awful. And it's so terrible. And it's just, oh my gosh. I didn't like Klaus's character because he's a jackhole at first, but I felt so bad. And so much was explained in that one scene. So much in just that very first scene. Yeah. And then when Caroline points out to him that, oh my gosh, you don't think you can be loved because of your father. That's why you compel people. It just, that's why he loves Caroline, because Caroline sees, and this goes back to how great she is. She sees things that no one else is able to see because she is broken herself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Caroline is one of my, it's so hard for me to have a favorite character on this show.
I mean, she's fine. I mean, her and Damon are my favorite characters on the Vampire Diaries.
Vampire Diaries, it will be Damon and Caroline are mine too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure there's nobody else.
I mean, Enzo's close for me. I really ended up liking him a lot. But
honestly, I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this, and I'm sorry, but I forget about Enzo a lot.
Is Enzo an original, or is he a
No.
hybrid?
No, he's just a vampire.
Oh,
Yeah, you'll get there. That's not until later, but it's
I
like,
think
and I
you'll
like,
like him.
and I like him,
Mhm.
but I always forget about him, and I don't know why. And I think it's because I don't watch 7 and
It's
8.
because he's in the later season that
He
we
comes
don't
in
like.
so late.
But man, isn't he so great? Well, even though he's not there for very long, he makes an impact on. I think. I don't know.
He's nice to look at. So,
He's nice to listen to. I mean,
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
he's got the best voice, probably of all
Yeah.
of them. I mean, he's got like butter over
I
here.
don't know. Klaus and Elijah, man. Some of the things that they.
For me.
Hey, speaking of
Yeah.
yes.
keyword, are we going to say the keyword time, guys?
Ripa,
Yeah, let's throw it out.
Ripa, right? That's
Who
the
can
keyword.
do it really? I can't do it. Can you do it, Amanda?
Should we do like ASM?
What is ASM?
Maybe it's the wrong term. Where you like whisper into the microphone.
Oh,
ASMR.
ASMR. I was short a letter.
I wouldn't have got that. But
So yes, everybody, our keyword for this episode is Ripa. I can't say it either. I'm not going to go to try to do his accent.
yeah,
Everybody's
just
listening to
picture
me.
Klaus yelling out Ripa when he's talking about Stefan.
It's
That's it.
RIPPAH.
Mhm.
So is it because he has a British accent that Ripper comes out as
Yeah.
Ripa? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. It's so amazing.
I can hear it, but I'm not even going to
You can
attempt
hear
to
it.
say it
Okay.
because
So speaking of that,
Yeah.
that's our keyword, yes. But speaking of that, the first scene of, or not the first scene, but in episode 1, oh my gosh, season 3, the first episode, where you see how terrifyingly twisted Stefan is when he sets the people up, sitting up. Ugh,
I love Ripper
disturbing.
Stefan.
I'm
I
like, you
hate
are-
Ripper Stefan. I hate him.
Love
I mean,
him.
this is like, I mean, I'm definitely love toxic men because we know I don't like Stefan, but when I saw him as the Ripper, I was like, oh,
Yes, me too.
oh, maybe I
No.
do like him.
Rip that
I
head
love
off. Like what's
I know what's
with
wrong
us?
with us.
Something happened to you both.
We have issues.
I had a normal childhood. I don't know what's
I mean,
wrong.
mine wasn't awful. I mean, I don't know.
Because I love animal blood Stefan. And then when he turned
Oh,
into
God,
Ripper
so
Stefan, no, he's not. He's sweet and
boring.
he's protective and he's caring
So
and
boring.
he's moody.
He's boring and he writes in his journals all day and drinks
He's
chipmunk blood. I mean,
How do you know it's always chipmunk?
Doesn't Damon make a joke about
Damon.
chipmunk or something?
Yes. But Damon's just making a joke.
I know, but I got to bring it up.
Or a little bunny rabbit or something. Yeah, that's what I imagine.
I feel like every time Damon mentions it, he brings up a different cute animal.
Mhm.
to
Those
accuse him of
bunnies,
being.
chipmunks, all the cute ones.
See,
Yeah.
I like a guy who writes.
That's Stefan.
I like Stefan when he's calm and he's sweet, because when he's calm and sweet, he's protective of Elena.
Yeah.
And he does the right thing. And I like that in a guy when he does the right thing. Tiffany's awfully quiet during this debate of good and right or vicious, repulsive killer. What do you think, Tiffany?
I don't know. He wasn't really my favorite character all around, honestly.
Yeah.
But in general, do you prefer your men to be murderers or journal writers?
Tiffany and I have the same taste in men, so I think
Let's
she's
Yeah.
gonna say murderers.
Yeah, I like the murderers. I'm sorry.
Told you.
So you guys talking about choosing life. I'm the only one who picks a partner who allows me to choose life.
They're more interesting, you know. It is what it
I'll
is.
give you that.
So you were talking about Stefan being protective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote down a line. I had to find it. Now it's not later. We haven't talked about like at the decade dance and stuff yet. It's like after that. It's actually about Damon, but he tells Elena, and I wrote down this quote, and he's talking about how like so they have to kill Bonnie or something. It's during like when Klaus like thinks he's killed her. He's
Mhm.
not.
Says, I will choose, if it comes to you or the witch.
He says, I
choose
will
you every time."
always choose you.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I think I wrote that down and
Me
I
too.
put like swoon next to it because I was like, this is, I think this was one of the first moments I was like, oh my gosh, I love him. And it's true, he will, even if it upsets her, even if it hurts someone else, it's
Mhm.
always her.
I'm not saying Damon's not protective. I'm saying that's why I don't like Ripper Stefan, because Ripper Stefan cares about nobody.
Yeah, that's true. But
But when he's eating animal blood, he's like, no, must protect Elena. And he just,
well, you know what though? Didn't Ripper Stefan, wasn't he with Rebecca while he was the Ripper though? He cared about her.
yeah, but he and Rebecca were into killing people. I mean, there's a scene where they're
They
both
liked it. Yeah.
feeding from someone on the same side. They'd stop to kiss and
know.
go back to sucking the life out of someone. So, I mean,
So it's all about finding your perfect match, someone who enjoys the same things you do.
do you think for even a moment, if it came down to Stefan's life or Rebecca's when he was the Ripper, he would have ever chosen Rebecca's life?
I don't
No.
know.
No,
Probably
he would
not.
not. He would
No.
not.
Okay.
She itched to scratch for Stefan. That's all it was.
Exactly. And I'm actually watching the Chicago episode right now.
That's a good episode.
I love this episode.
Me too.
Oh, there's one other thing about Caroline and Tyler I want to talk about.
Okay.
When he is upset, when Jules tells him that there are other vampires in the town, and she's explaining this to him, he goes up to Caroline. He's like, "You lied to me. I can't trust you." And Caroline schools him on loyalty.
Yeah.
And she says, "Listen, I only lied to protect everyone else." And
Yeah.
then, especially when, like, because it happens after she's been captured by the
Mhm.
wolf pack, and then they call Stefan saying, "Hey, we're gonna torture her if you don't come get her."
Yeah.
And she says, you just stood there and you watched them try to kill me and my friends. That's why I lied to you about them, because this is what you did when you had the truth."
Yeah.
And and I feel for Tyler because he's just confused. No one's telling him the
Yeah.
truth. Jules is clearly using him
Yeah.
for something. And he feels like he's being fed this lie that Caroline's also doing because she lied to him. And so I feel for him. But Caroline has got, and you don't expect it knowing her in the first couple episodes of season 1. You don't expect her to be so loyal and
Right.
so knowledgeable about how to actually be a true, real friend,
Mm-hmm.
because she's loyal no matter what.
Oh yeah.
And I love that she had that conversation with him, that she's like, no, this is just what's right. And that's,
Mhm.
you just suck it up and you do what's right.
Yeah.
I agree.
I was a little surprised though that Elijah was keeping his promise to Elena. I was really expecting that to like be broken a lot sooner than it was. Because actually it's Elena who broke it, right?
Yeah. Well, Elijah, he's a man of his word. Most of the time, if he gives you his word, it's what it is.
But I was surprised by that because like,
Until it comes down to his family, and we see that. I mean, like
Yeah.
he's not going to actually let anything happen to them.
that was a frustrating scene when they finally got Klaus where he was, and Elijah's like, I know I gave you all this information. I know I told you exactly what to do, how to do it, and you did it.
Yeah,
But I changed my mind.
it's his brother.
I get it. Stefan did the same thing with Damon when him and Damon were fighting.
That's that always and forever. You don't know about that yet, but
Actually, over and
That's
over
fair.
again, Stefan saved Damon.
oh yeah.
And Elijah
both-
saved Damon 3 times too.
Mhm.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
like Elijah.
Me too.
I also am more Damon and Elena than I was Stefan and Elena.
I knew it. See,
But it's because I hate Ripper Stefan. I hate Ripper Stefan so much. And that scene where Stefan takes Elena and he's telling Klaus, "Hey, if she dies, she's got my blood. She's gonna be a vampire. She's no use to." And he tries to floor it on that bridge.
Hmm.
And Klaus is like, "All right, stop." And then they get out of the car, and Elena's crying for obvious reasons because the man she loved almost just killed her just to play a game.
yeah,
And he says, I lost you the moment I left. And you think it's going to be like this sweet deprecating thing. And then she realizes, is that what you're trying to do? Trying to make me hate you? And he says, I don't care what you think about me anymore. And he walks away. And then he's mad and surprised that Damon and her kissed. Like,
Yeah.
Did
Like,
you
come on.
think was going to come of that? You almost killed her. You
Mhm.
used her as a pawn. You told her you didn't care about her. Obviously, everyone knew that was a lie, including Elena, who figured out what he was doing. But then he also looks at Damon and he says, I love her, Damon. Do you?
Yeah.
And I like that when Damon says, I do too, and walks away. But Damon is
Mhm.
proving that he loves her more than Stefan is. Stefan is
Yes.
trying to like be the villain because he thinks that's what you have to do to save the villain. But I love
Mhm.
when Damon's like, no, you don't be the better villain. You be smart. That's how you defeat the villains. And that was an eye opener to know who Damon's character was.
Mm-hmm.
He
There
loves
was,
her
I
better.
agree.
and I think,
does.
I really do think that Damon just loved Elena more.
I do
Mhm.
too. Because I think
Like-
you see a difference, like later, when Stefan is in love with Caroline, it is different. And I know it means well, I mean, I don't know if you really say that they've grown because they're the same age as they've always been. I mean, I don't know if that really counts when you're like 200 years old, but I mean,
Rules are bent in that situation.
but I mean, I think like he loves her differently. And I think it's more pure and more real than it ever was with Elena. I think the Elena is still more of an infatuation of the fact that she looks. I mean, I know everybody says that like Damon was wanting her because she looked like Catherine, but I think
At
that's what
first, I
started
think
the
so.
whole Stefan thing too, though. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think it turned. I think he cared about her. I think they're really good friends, and I think he does love her, but just not the way that Damon loves her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that Stefan, I think he absolutely 100% loved Elena.
Mhm.
But I think he didn't know how to be in a relationship with her being an equal. I think
Yeah.
Stefan felt like he had to be the protector, and he would take that role no matter what, even if it meant ending their relationship. Whereas
Mhm.
Damon was like, hey, no, we're going to be on level playing fields, and I'm going to protect you, but you're also going to not be a moron.
Right.
And that's more a healthy kind of love, to where you're on equal playing the field.
Yeah. And I think that goes, I mean, also whenever she turns into a vampire, like Stefan is different with her, whereas Damon's like loves her, whether she's human, vampire, it doesn't matter. He loves her the same either way.
Mhm.
Stefan just tries to fix her all the time.
Mhm.
All the
He's
time,
a fixer.
yeah.
He always just tries to fix.
Yeah.
While I'm over here going, just stop trying to fix everything.
Yeah.
Just
And like probably
let it
because
be.
he can't not atone.
Yeah.
I mean, even after she leaves him for Damon in later seasons, I mean, Stefan's still trying to fix her.
Mhm.
And it's just like, stop.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard because I do understand.
Mhm.
But it just that part annoys me.
And it's funny because Damon says the same thing to Elena. He says, I'm not Stefan. Stop trying to make me Stefan. You can't fix me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was her first. I mean, yes, she was with Matt, but I think that I think Stefan was her first love. Kind of like a Dean Roy.
No, I
thing.
agree.
I think that was an accurate statement to say. And that's what her first love relationship was if you love someone, then you'll do whatever it takes to protect them no matter what. And you will fix them because you know what's better for them.
Right.
And that's not what it is.
No.
And with Damon too, I felt so bad for him with Rose.
I loved Rose.
When he had to snake her and he was just crying. Oh, I hated that scene.
Yeah.
I mean, how
But he
sweet
takes
was
her to
he?
the meadow and he puts her mind at ease. And it's just so you get to see like a different side of Damon in that moment. And it really does just make you fall in love with him even more than you already are. It's a different type.
Well, I mean, I think it shows that he's got good in him, you know.
Yeah.
He just doesn't like to show it to anyone.
No, because I think that to him that's weakness.
Yeah.
Well, he even says that to Elena. What does he say? I'm trying to remember. What does he say? Something about like when people see good, they expect good.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
He's just afraid of letting someone down.
And he says that with Rose too, where he's like, it was supposed to be me. It shouldn't have been anybody else. I was the one who was supposed to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just it was so sad.
He has a good heart. He's just bitter.
Well, every time he's given some part of himself to someone, it's ended disastrously. I mean, he's over 100 years old. There's got to be a point when you're like, all right, I'm done with this game.
Yeah.
Sick of feeling this way. I'm sick of being hurt. I'm just not going to do it anymore.
The part when Catherine looks at him and just says, it's Stefan. It's always been Stefan.
God, I hated that.
And then Elena turns around and says the same thing to her. And I'm just like, I'll take you.
And I don't even think Catherine meant it because she says at another point in time, like, it's okay to love them both. I did. So I don't think she meant that at the time. I think she absolutely loved Damon too. I think she loved Stefan more and differently, but I think she cared about Damon just the same.
See, I always felt like she loved Stefan a lot more than she ever loved Damon. I agree with that. I think she loved Damon.
Yeah.
But I think she really loved Stefan.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it even be classified more. She just cared about Damon.
Yeah.
Because even when Damon was going to kill Klaus, she told Stefan, you need to care now because otherwise it's going to kill Damon. And then when she brought the vial back to relieve Damon from the wolf bite, I don't think it was solely because Damon paid or Stefan paid a price. It was because she wanted to make sure that Damon was healed.
Yeah,
I think
so,
she
'cause
cared whether he lived or died.
She
And
cared.
I think she said I owed you one or something like that.
Yeah,
But I
Yeah.
think it was more
Yeah.
than them.
it was more than that. What about that scene? I love that scene with him and Elena too.
Oh, where she
Where-
kisses him.
Well, and where she tells him like that she likes him just like he is,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that scene when he's dying too, that's where it was, when she says, I
Yeah.
like you just the way you are.
Yeah.
With the wolf bite. And then she kisses him and Catherine's like, she asked where Stefan is. And Catherine says, do you even care? Like,
Yeah.
wow. You have some balls coming in here saying that.
Well,
when
she
you
always
use these
does.
two boys as pawns for
Mhm.
everything you've ever done.
I love Catherine though. I
I
know she's
love
awful.
Catherine. She
Gosh,
is.
I like her.
Of course you do.
She's up there with Damon and Caroline for me
I
as a
would agree.
character.
I would agree.
Mhm.
She's
I
just
pick-
entertaining.
I'll pick
I just
Catherine
love her.
She's
over-
entertaining.
Or Katharina. I always say Katharina. I can't help it.
Rose is her
when he
sister,
says her
right?
name.
Huh?
Rose is her sister, right?
No.
No.
Rose is just who turned her.
Yeah. Katharina was running
Mhm.
and she went into Rose's, and I can't remember the guy's name.
Trevor.
Trevor? Yeah. Their house. And
They
she-
healed her, right?
They healed her with their
then-
blood, and then
And then
she
she
hung
hung
herself.
herself and she turned. Yeah.
Okay.
so
That's-
she's changed through Rose's blood. She's Rose's
Okay.
turn. I don't know what they
I don't know. I know Rose is her sire, I guess you would say. Yeah.
That's what confused me because she was in their house. And then when she got down off there, Rose said, you signed our death warrants. And Catherine said, better you than me, and shoved him against the wall and ran out. Like,
Yep.
yikes.
She's a survivor though. You got to give it to her.
Yeah, it is. It's really easy to survive when you throw people in the way as your dummies.
she's
do
been
what you
doing
gotta
it for how many years? 500 years? Is she
500 years, yeah.
I mean,
I mean, Rose did too, but I have a feeling she wasn't as mean and cruel as Catherine.
Most people aren't. Catherine's pretty terrible.
she's like my favorite villain, I think.
Yeah, mine too.
I don't classify Klaus as a villain.
No, because he's not a villain in the original. So no.
Yeah, so
Her
it's
and Kai are probably my two favorites.
Honestly, I think the whole reason Klaus is a bad dude in Vampire Diaries, but I think the whole reason he's trying to create this hybrid army is because he wants someone to be like him, because he was made to feel like you were
Yes.
an abomination, you are worthless, you're complete garbage and no one not worthy of anything. And so I think he feels like, well, if I create these sires, if I create this hybrid army, then got more people who are like me and I'm not alone in what I am.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
So, I mean, he's a bad
He's-
guy, but
He's a lot like Catherine when it comes to that, though. He's very like, I'm gonna put myself first.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he really does get better.
Yeah.
Catherine, I don't feel like really ever.
I do like her as a human. I think she's hilarious as a human.
Oh, that she's my favorite as a human. You're not that far.
No, but I was watching Damon clips and she's in it as a human. It's hilarious.
It's I
The one
love
where she calls Damon to come pick her up, and then
When
he goes to
she's
pick her up in
sick.
a car. Yeah. Well, it's him and Jeremy go to pick her up in a car, and it's one of the times that Damon gives Jeremy a concussion.
Oh,
Yeah.
one of the times. Poor Jeremy. My gosh. What is Jeremy doing now? Because we saw him. Jeanette, you're going to be the only one to know this. When we saw him in Legacies, what was he doing now? Why was he still hunting?
I think he's still hunting because he came back when they were fighting one of the monsters or whatever, but it was like season 1, so I don't really remember. I feel like it's been a while.
I got to rewatch Legacies.
And I've not
I need to get
rewatched
caught
that
up.
ever. So
I need to get caught up.
I'm way behind.
Me too.
Yeah.
So for those of you
Sorry,
who don't know,
Legacies.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say sorry, Legacies. You're not just not as good as the originals.
It's not.
I think that we should dive into Rose just a bit more, and I think that it's her and Damon had a connection pretty instantly. I think,
Mhm.
and I like she said something. What did she say to him? This episode where I wrote, "Girl from The Walking Dead telling them about Klaus."
And she knew Lexi.
Yes. Oh, that's right.
But
Yeah.
she kind of had a little bit of an in
Mm-hmm.
in that way. Because
Yeah.
she kind of threw Lexi's name out there pretty fast whenever she just broke into their house for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I
think
think
that
I think her and Damon had a connection right away, but I think it got more intense when Rose was protecting Elena. When she
Yeah.
went up to her and she's like, you're doing the suicide mission. That was the whole point. And
Mhm.
she told Damon about that, didn't she? Pretty sure she told Damon about it because Damon was talking to Elena about how you can't do this. You're not going to go on a suicide mission just to save everyone else.
Yeah. Sounds
So-
like her.
I think that the connection was just drawn deeper when he saw that, because she was well aware that he had feelings for Elena because she
Mhm.
said something about it. And that was episode when they hooked up, was when she said something about that. And so for her to feel the way she does about him enough to jump in front of a wolf as it attacked him,
Mhm.
it was just, I don't know, that was just so sad. And it was so nice for Damon to see that someone for once cared enough about him,
Mhm.
sacrificed himself for him. I think that's the first time that someone's ever done. I mean, Stefan has saved him before. That's his brother.
Yeah.
Every girl he's ever had has always chosen someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And to have Rose actually choose him even above herself was really nice that Damon got to see that, but also really heartbreaking because it meant that he lost that person at the same time.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, I loved, honestly, and I mean, as much as I love Damon and Elena, Rose was the only other person that, I mean, I kind of liked her with Damon. Like, I was like, okay, well, if Elena doesn't, if this doesn't work out with her, I was ready for him and
Yeah.
Rose to have something.
Well, because Rose wasn't conflicted and Rose wasn't like, Stefan or Damon. It was just
Right.
Damon. That's it.
Yeah. Which seems like the correct choice to me. I'm not sure why anyone would go back and forth like
Well,
that.
certainly I think Damon deserves that.
Yeah.
Well, I also kind of liked him with I'm trying to think of her name right now. I want to say Annie. Was it Annie?
Andy.
Andy.
Oh,
Because I
who
like
is
that
she?
name.
Remind me who she is.
She was the news reporter.
Mhm.
Why was she important to Elena?
She wasn't. She was important to Damon.
That was Damon's girl.
They were
In
just, I mean, they were
season 2.
sleeping together, and he
3.
was compelling her just to have somebody to talk to, basically.
Oh, okay.
And
I
then he would
didn't
make
know
her
that.
forget it. Yeah.
Because when Stefan had her walk off that rafter, I was like, who the heck is that?
I hated.
It was so awful. Because I mean,
That.
there was no reason for him to do that.
Mm.
No. I mean, he had reasons in his own head to try to keep Damon and Elena away from Klaus, but I did not agree with that choice.
Okay, well, let's talk about Elijah then. When Elijah was stabbed, and Luca is like that's his name, right? That dude witch.
Yeah.
He's like
Mhm.
psychically from a different place, lifting the knife up, and then
Yes.
Damon just starts with the flamethrower,
Like,
and everyone's like,
Oh my
"Damon,
God.
what are you doing?" I think Damon's response is, "There's some psychic stuff happening where they're just
Yeah.
removing a stake psychically. I don't know how they're doing it." And you just
I love Damon. He doesn't really think. He just, reacts. He's not really going to think about what's going to happen. He's
I
like,
mean, it
"Oh,
worked. It set him on fire.
Yeah. Killed him, right?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. That's another one of Bonnie's almost love interests. See, I'm telling you, all of her love interests die.
But they were working for Klaus, so that would have been
I
bad
know.
if she was with them anyway. Or
I
not
know.
Klaus, Elijah.
Elijah.
Right? They
Yeah.
were with Elijah, not Klaus.
Yeah, they were with Elijah.
I couldn't remember their names, so I just kept calling them Elijah's witch. I couldn't- and it was only when Luca got caught on fire that was like, oh, his name's Luca. Okay, got it.
I know. I liked him too. He's a sweet boy.
And then the dad took Bonnie. He was the one who took Bonnie's powers, right?
Yes.
But I mean, Elijah is pretty sincere. He's pretty honest with them. I mean, yeah, there's some things he keeps hidden, but he's pretty honest about when he tells them, this is what I want to do. I don't want any vampire to know about you because I don't want the curse broken. I don't want the curse to be broken. I want my brother to stay as he is. So Elijah seems of the originals that you meet so far in season 3 and season 2, he seems like the most honest of them.
He is.
He is. That's kind of, he's known for that.
Yeah.
He's like the honorable brother.
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
it's
he's got his moments too, but
Well, he's a vampire.
he's only really bad though if somebody like threatens the people he loves.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, watch out.
I do
'Cause-
like when we first meet him
Mhm.
and he's in that house. He's like,
Yeah.
to whoever you are, you cannot beat me.
Yeah.
You can't win. And then Damon comes at him with the giant table leg.
Yep.
Like a battering ram. But I like, my note was Elijah woke up and he is mad.
And I love it when he walks in. I guess it's is it Trevor that he like just rips his head off? I mean, Elijah makes an entrance into a room. If you've made him upset, I mean, he walks in and he will like just wait. I mean, like there's scenes like, I know I keep talking about it, but I mean, there's scenes he'll just go into a room of like 50 people and he just starts ripping hearts out. And it's just like no problem whatsoever.
Well, one of the times he saved Damon from the wolves. That's what he did. He just kind of stood and waited for them to come to him. He's like, oh, dude, okay.
He'll
go,
usually-
guys, let's go.
He'll unbutton his coat, he does his business, and he buttons his little suit jacket right back up.
He also did that when he returned to Klaus. And Klaus thought he was dead, and he just put on the heart, and he's just holding the heart there, and he's like, hello, brother. He doesn't say hello, brother, but that's basically what he's getting at.
He makes an entrance. That's why I
does.
love it so much.
I do like Elijah.
Yeah.
And
I think he will be your favorite. I really do once you get to know him. I really do.
I think too that Klaus, I even like Klaus, like when he's talking, when Stefan saves him.
Yeah.
And yes, Stefan was being compelled, but Klaus still says with a tear in his eye, thank you, friend.
Yeah.
You no longer have to do what I say. So, I mean, it's just, I have a soft spot for Klaus too. Not because he's a psychopath, but because he's just broken and he's hurting and he's
So broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's brought a lot of it on himself.
Yeah.
But it wasn't always that way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A lot of bad stuff happened to him.
Yeah.
For him
Klaus is
be
one
the
of
way
those.
he
I mean, he makes me angry, but then I feel sorry for him, and then he makes me angry again, and then I'm like, oh, like
I know.
I really go back and forth. But I love him. I do love him.
even when he's making me angry, I still love him.
I still love him somehow. Yeah.
I don't like it when he inhabits Alaric.
No.
Don't
it's because
like
we,
Well, yeah, that's when we very first meet him.
we don't like evil. Anytime Alaric is bad or evil, I don't think he pulls it off well. I like
No.
nice Alaric.
Yeah.
I do like that when he comes into the Salvatore house, he's like, no, it's me. It's really me this time. He's like, prove it. Like the first night you and I were together, Jeremy, and Jenna just cuts him off. Yep, it's him. It's him.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny.
Oh, now that we mentioned Aunt Jenna, let's
I know, we didn't even talk about her.
let's backtrack to Aunt Jenna. Poor Aunt Jenna.
First,
Gosh, I
Catherine has her
hated
stab herself.
That's awful. Catherine.
And Alaric, as soon as Elena picks up the phone, he knows something's going on. He knows it.
Mhm.
And he keeps going, what? And Elena keeps saying, 1 minute. And so if she would have just been like, it's Catherine, then Alaric could have been watching Jenna, but
I know. I guess he couldn't have stopped her though. I mean, because she was compelled.
What was he
and
gonna do?
everything, You know,
and
To
Klaus
do.
actually killed her, which was
I really hated that. That's like I don't know. I feel like all these bad guys have like these one acts that I really can't forgive them for. And for
Mhm.
Yeah.
Klaus, it's that one.
Klaus is that's my top one.
That one, and when he kills Tyler's mom. I don't care for that either.
I don't know about
those
that
two.
one yet.
Those are two bad
Sorry,
things.
yeah, you don't know about that one. But those are the two moments that I'm just like, oh man.
I mean, I
Why'd
don't
you
really
get
feel
a
bad
blue
about
one?
him killing Tyler's mom. I don't like Tyler's mom.
Oh, it's pretty terrible though, the way he does it. I mean,
Oh.
it's pretty, which I mean, this is the reason Tyler goes off the rails and like acts like a crazy person. Which, so I mean, it's justified,
Yeah.
but I don't like it.
So Isabelle is also back in this one.
Ugh.
I hate her too.
And she is also compelled by Klaus. And then she takes Elena to a field and then incinerates herself right in front of Elena.
Yeah.
Like that, like it's the things she did in this episode were because of Klaus.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that was pretty horrible. For
Yeah,
what
That,
it
that
was.
whole episode is a very bad Klaus episode.
Mhm.
We
I
don't talk about that.
Yeah, because I
We
don't
just
cast
forget
it.
about that one.
I don't love Klaus in the Vampire Diaries. When I first watched it, I didn't like him at all. It wasn't until I watched the originals and then I go back and watch it that I like start to feel for him. I didn't like him at all.
Yeah, you really do have to watch the originals to be able to like understand Klaus and to like once you watch the originals, you're gonna love Klaus.
It's different, yeah. Because I think with like Rebecca and Elijah, you see the good in them in the Vampire Diaries, so it's easy. But Klaus, you don't see much good in him.
Well, I think in season 3 you're starting to. From the moment his dad confronts him.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only thing you see, his interactions with Caroline are really the only thing that you see like a glimpse of like goodness in him.
There was a TikTok I saw that was Klaus to everyone, literally everyone else. And it was him screaming and all the horrible, horrible things he threatens people with. And it was like, Klaus to Caroline, no. Okay, I'll do that for you.
Yeah. When he grabs her in that hallway and he's like, shh, it's me. I've got you. I'm like, oh, that is pretty sweet. But I'm like, no, I don't like you together. But I can't help it. Sometimes
The one thing that happens that is a benefit to him taking over Alaric is that Bonnie has some pretty sweet scenes through that when she gets all of the power from those witches.
Yeah.
And then she pretends to die.
Yeah.
Like she casts that spell to die. I mean, that was a pretty hardcore Bonnie scene. Like I thought she was a master in that episode. That she just she did good work. And I cannot remember the girl who plays her. I think her name is Kate or Kat.
Kat.
Katarina.
What is her last name?
Graham.
Katarina.
Kat Graham. Yeah.
Katarina Graham.
Yeah.
She does really good work in those episodes.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
And she does it in a 60s attire.
Yes.
And Damon and Elena are a little indecently flirting in that dance for how present Stefan is in Elena's life still.
They are.
Have some composure, Elena.
How can you?
That's what I was going to say. I feel like I'd struggle. I'd struggle for sure.
I mean, come on. Are we talking about the 60s dance?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's one where that was one of the first times that Damon really worked with Elena or with Bonnie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damon's the one who knew. Everyone, I mean, Jeremy clearly knew, but Elena had no idea.
Right.
Yeah. They had to keep it like that.
Mm-hmm. And I like that Elena's the one who brought Elijah back too.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like in the car with him. She's saying, okay, I need your help. And he's like, your time for making demands is way past.
Yeah. I always wonder if it was different, if it was weird for like Elijah to be around Elena, considering he was in love with Tatia, who looks just like her.
Oh.
Tatia's another doppelganger?
Yeah. That's the one that they use the blood.
I knew that.
So she's the original.
She was a
right?
doppelganger.
No, she's not the original.
She's not the
doppelganger.
original.
That's Amara, right?
Amara.
Yeah. Okay. So Tatia, but Tatia is the one they use the spell for.
There's a lot of stuff in this show you gotta.
And then he's also in love with
like,
Catherine. So it's like it's gotta be weird to kind of be around her that two of your ex-loves, look just like this girl.
I know.
They're all brothers. Why are they all brothers?
That's what happens.
That's what happened. My brothers never had this problem.
I don't know.
Mine didn't either.
It's the doppelgangers, man. They can't help it, I guess.
So that makes it more interesting that Klaus is willing to drain Catherine completely, or Elena.
Yeah.
Even though it looks exactly like his first love.
Yes.
Just to get, wow.
Yeah.
That adds a whole new spin of you're not a happy man.
He doesn't care anymore.
It doesn't matter to him. What else haven't we talked about? We have been all over the place though. Season 2, season 3.
Sheriff Forbes, she shoots Jeremy in the chest.
No.
Right.
Because she knew Damon was a vampire and thought he would move slow out of the way of a bullet.
Yeah, she didn't really think that one through.
And I like that she just let Alaric and Bonnie take him.
Yeah.
She calls for the paramedics, and then Alaric and Bonnie are like, here, come on, let's go. And Sheriff Forbes is like, okay, paramedics are coming, but you take them. Go ahead.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad she did. That's how we got Jeremy back, but
I feel like paramedics could have done something similar.
I don't know. That shot to the chest, I'm not sure they could have done anything.
No, he needed the blood.
He was goner.
Or no, is that when Bonnie
No,
brought
that's
him
when
back?
Bonnie, she brought him back using all of her
That's right.
ancestor witch
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what broke Bonnie.
hmm And it's the reason Jeremy saw all the ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was also the same episode that Stefan went off with Klaus to become the Ripper.
Yes.
Yep. That was all the last episode of the first season, right?
Second.
Second to last?
No, last episode of the
Oh.
second season.
Second season.
Second season, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so that we've covered everything from season 2.
Okay.
Awesome.
So let's
Yeah,
let's
'cause,
do a quick recap sort of season 2.
Whew, okay.
Yeah. That was a long one. All right, so season 2, we saw Caroline become a vampire. Right?
Yes.
Catherine turned her, Damon was surprised. We see Klaus controlling people from afar.
Yep.
Elijah appears in season 2
Mhm.
in a glorious fashion.
Wonderful.
Elena and Damon kiss a couple times. And Damon confesses his love for her and then wipes her memory.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Sad.
Oh my gosh, my heart.
Yeah.
Mason Lockwood dies. And
Congrats.
not before giving Catherine the Moonstone because he's working with Catherine the whole time.
Oh no,
Tyler
he
Lock-
doesn't give her the moonstone.
I thought he did give her the Moonstone and she still
No, he
needed
put it
another
in
room.
the well. Remember Stefan jumped
Oh,
Stefan had
yeah.
to jump down there to go get it, and then it was Ravane.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
I did
That was
too.
really hard for me to watch. I didn't like watching that.
Oh, then the snakes in there.
I did not like watching that at all. I hated that. Oh, I blocked that deep in the recesses of my mind.
Yeah, I didn't even remember that, to be honest with you.
That was
I
a
watched that part
horrible,
today.
horrible scene.
And they didn't show that in the recaps I was watching because I totally forgot about that until just now.
Yep.
And then before Mason does that, he kind of tells Tyler how to become a werewolf. He teaches him how to do this stuff. And then after he dies, Tyler changes, becomes a
Yeah.
werewolf officially because he accidentally killed a girl who was compelled by Catherine to do it,
Yep.
to stab him.
Mhm.
It
Poor
sucks
girl.
that all he did was shove her away.
I know.
Yeah.
And he killed her by just shoving her away. Oh, that
I
was a
know.
bummer. I felt so bad for Tyler. Caroline and Tyler have moments.
Mhm.
And you knew they were going to fall in love.
Oh yeah.
You knew they were because she was there for him when no one else was. And Tyler was very, very alone.
Mhm.
So I like that. Let's see. We see Catherine actually helps people out.
Yeah. If it serves her. Mhm.
Yeah. Jeremy tries for almost the entire season to get Bonnie to date him.
Yes.
There was one where they finally did. I wrote Jeremy and Bonnie finally in all caps.
Mhm.
Yep, that was when Tyler agreed to give up Caroline for Matt
Yes.
and leave with Jules
Mm-hmm.
to save her. One of my notes says Catherine is back. No one wants her. But
Oh,
she
and they
knows
lock her in the
need her.
tomb.
They
That was
did.
season 2.
Stefan saves Jeremy from the tomb. I feel like Jeremy has to be saved a lot.
A lot.
Like I feel like he doesn't make wise choices with his life.
No.
No,
Not
they
at
make
all.
him out to be the kid. Like he's
Yeah.
still the immature kid.
And he's like a year younger than all of them, which
I
is
know.
the craziest thing.
Kind of proves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Even when he gets locked in the tomb, he looks at Bonnie. He's like, "I stole some powder. Sorry." You idiot! Why? I like that Catherine's like, "So I'm gonna go play with my new toy, and you guys just give me a holler when you have the tomb open."
Yeah. Stupid.
And the dude, what's Luca's dad's name?
I have no idea.
Dude witch, Elijah's witch.
Yeah.
He took Bonnie's powers.
Yes.
That's something we actually didn't talk about in the 2 hours, but he did. He took Bonnie's powers.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned it.
Yeah, it was slightly.
Isabelle set herself on fire in front of Milena.
Good.
Bonnie took her power back in the episode right after she lost it.
Good.
And she takes more than that. She takes goes to the site where all the Salem witches were burned, and they all told her from the grave to be careful with the powers because they could hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's just weird how often they talk to dead people.
Oh,
They're
you just
dead,
wait.
technically.
Yeah.
It gets weirder with the dead people, so just wait.
Matt finds out that Caroline's a vampire,
Mhm.
and he has a really hard time coming to terms with that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He freaks out a little bit, works with Sheriff Forbes to take Vervain and, be her spy.
Mhm.
Alaric is possessed by Klaus, and Bonnie defeats him by pretending to die. Sort of. Because do we see how Damon goes to where Klaus is, and I feel like Alaric is just right there on the ground. He's been set free. Is that what happens? When Klaus comes back, he doesn't need Alaric anymore, so he just kind of steps out of him.
Yeah.
Basically.
So weird.
I'm done with you.
Simple.
So Elena brings Elijah back. That's another thing. Elijah is killed for all intents and purposes is actually what they say in there.
I know.
They actually make a point to say, as long as the stake is in them, they're dead for all intents and purposes.
Which is so funny because and it's because I've seen the originals that I don't call it like they're not killed, they've been daggered. This is what it's called. This is what Klaus does to them all the time. Like
Klaus does it to him all the time.
yeah, they're daggered quite often. Whenever he gets mad about something, he'll put a stake in them. Yeah. I think he's been daggered some. It just happens,
Just
Quiet you.
Better.
I'll wake you up in 300 years.
there you go.
That's basically how.
Pretty much.
Poor Cole and Finn, they were under the longest for sure.
Yeah, they deserved it.
Cole was rowdy. Yeah, he needed to be put down for a little time out.
You're just grounded.
Yeah.
After living 1,000 years, you need to be grounded sometimes.
Yeah.
Put in time out.
Every time poor Rebecca falls in love, he decides to stick a dagger in her so she can not be with them.
Wow.
Terrible. Terrible.
Well, Elena does it to him this time, and then Elena's also the one who brings him back. We find out the curse is not really real. The curse of the sun and moon is not really a real curse. That's what Elijah says.
Yeah.
And then we find out their backstory of the Michelsons. Is it Michelsons or Mickelsons? Because I was expecting the same Michelsons, but they said Michelsons.
Michelsons.
Okay.
It's because Dad's name is Michael, and
Yeah.
so back in those times, it's just Michael's son. That's which is
gotcha.
so weird. 'Cause his name is Michael Michelson, basically. If you want to be technical about it, which is the craziest thing.
And the whole thing that Klaus is trying to do is break the curse that the witches put on him, where he could not let his wolf side out, so he could not be a full hybrid. Let's see. He needs the blood of a doppelganger to enact his hybrid side. Sorry, we already talked about that. I'm not going to repeat it. Damon forces his blood into Elena. That was something we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
She was not happy about that. Now, the other thing too is that you see when other people are like, here, you have to drink it. You have to drink it. But then Damon puts his wrist up to her and she's talking while he's putting it in her mouth.
Mhm.
She didn't drink it. I mean, there's some in there afterwards, I suppose, that she had to swallow.
It only takes a little bit. Yeah.
So he forces it into Elena, and same episode, Damon's bit by a werewolf.
Mhm.
And Luca's sister gets Jenna to transition before the ritual. Klaus kills everybody, a bunch of people, including Jenna, which is really, 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 really horrible.
Really sad.
Matt confesses to Caroline, hey, I knew the whole time I was never deluded. Klaus thinks he killed Elena.
Mhm.
Oh, Elijah saves his brother at the end. David tells Stefan about the bite. Stefan sells his soul basically to Stefan to become the Ripper to save her. Catherine brings out the stuff to save Damon. Everyone is sort of happy except for Stefan, who's miserable as the Ripper. And Elena's feelings come out for Damon when she lays with him and lays a kiss on his dying lips.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much all of season 2.
That's it.
Took like 5 minutes to say, and we talked for 2 hours about it.
Yeah.
And I did look up about the last name thing.
Yeah.
And everybody on here saying that Michael's last name would not have been Michelson. But I guess we don't know it. And even when I go to like the fandom, it just says Michael. It doesn't give us.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they just never gave him a last name in the show.
They probably didn't. But I guess I just always think about it because so Esther wouldn't be, would Esther be either? I mean, probably not technically, right?
They probably altered their name as people around them died.
Well, yeah,
and
because
they got
I think
older and they
it
got
would have been
older.
like Elijah, son of Michael.
Mhm.
Right. And so it's
I don't think
Michael,
they like had last names.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So
I know.
I
How
don't know.
sad for Klaus to be tied to that man.
ugh.
He's probably the person I hate the most in like the whole series. He's awful.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is our recap of season 2 with a little bit of season 3 in there. Let us know what you think. If we missed anything big, I don't think we did because we talked extensively, but we're not perfect. We might have missed something. Let us know. If you want to reach out to us and tell us how bad of a job we did or how amazing we did, you can reach us at our email at familyfanclub@2021. Let me say that again, familyfanclub2021@gmail.com. You can reach us in our Facebook group, which is the Vampire Diaries Salvatore Family Fan Club. And we do a lot of fun things there. If you're not a member of that group yet, we do character spotlights. We do random posts. We have each of us have a day and we'll do fun things every day. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram under some variation of Family Fan Clubs, and TikTok as well. So we are trying to put out, if you look at our TikTok from today, we put out an Elijah one, and there's another Elijah one, isn't there? There's more than one.
Yeah, there's an Elijah and Haley one. There's a Michelson one. There's a Damon and Elena. I think I've
Stefan
done
and
more
Elena?
of the Vampire Diaries than anything else. No, and I mean there probably won't be a Stefan and Elena one unless somebody actually requests it, and I'm feeling generous that day.
So if you are Stelena, request it through our
Just
TikTok.
request it. I'll do
You
it
have
for
Stefan
you.
and Elena. We'll do it for you. We'll do it up nice.
Yeah.
So you can keep tuning in and remember our code words. I'm not going to tell you what it is right now because I don't want you to fast forward to the end and find the code word. So
Exactly.
if you don't know what it is at this point, you're just going to have to go back through and watch it again. I'm not telling you where it is either. So you can tune in next week where we will have an equally exciting episode on Sunday and Monday. And I'm pretty sure Wednesday. So that's it for this week. Bye, guys.
Bye.